Hey guys, it's Casey's Politics. So today we're going to be taking another look at the 2026 Senate map for the month of June. Now, a bit has changed since my last prediction in February with different primaries going on and different stories popping up about certain candidates. So we are going to be filling out this 2026 Senate map this time as of June. Now, as always, we will start with the safe Republican states. That's going to be Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. Bill Cassidy, the incumbent senator, was primaried out. It will now go to a runoff in the Republican primary between Treasurer John Fleming and Trump-endorsed Representative Julia Letlow. Then we have Arkansas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Mitch McConnell's seats. It'll be Andy Barr versus Charles Booker. West Virginia, South Carolina. We'll put Florida in there. And Kansas, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, Idaho. And those should be all of the safe Republican states. Now we're going to do the safe Democrat states. That will be Oregon, Colorado. The incumbent senator here is facing a bit of a competitive primary. The Democrat, a bit of a competitive primary there. New Mexico, Minnesota. Again, this is kind of a competitive Democratic primary. You have a pretty weak candidate going up a relatively strong candidate there, so this may be one to watch, but it's still going to be safe Democrats. Illinois, Virginia, put Delaware, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and those should be the safe Democrat states. Getting into the more competitive races, we're going to start off with the likely states. Firstly, we have Nebraska. Democrats are running an independent by the name of Dan Osborne, who did pretty well in his 2024 run against Deb Fischer. He only lost by around 7, outperforming the top of the ticket by a lot. But Osborne is facing a lot stronger candidate this time in Pete Ricketts, who has lots of name recognition in Nebraska. He was previously the governor. So I think Ricketts is not going to have too much of a difficult time winning in Nebraska. Iowa, there's an open seat. Ashley Hinson, the representative, is a strong candidate. She will be facing either Zach Walz or Josh Turek. Seems like Turek is the more strong candidate for Democrats. Whoever Democrats nominate, I think Republicans will still win by a likely margin in Iowa. We're going to get into the lean to tilt states now. Firstly, we're going to start off with Alaska. Democrats are running probably their strongest candidates. Former Representative Mary Peltola. I think Peltola is a pretty overrated candidate. She lost in 2024. She will be facing an incumbent Republican who has pretty good name recognition, Dan Sullivan. He's a strong candidate in Alaska. I think this will be lean Republican as of now, but I think it could get up to likely Republican in October, November. Another lean Republican state, I think Ohio will be lean Republican. Sherrod Brown is trying to win another Senate race. He previously lost against Bernie Moreno in 2024. Sherrod Brown is the Democrats' strongest recruit by far. He was previously the senator for 18 years before losing in 2024. He will be facing John Husted this time. Husted is a very strong candidate. He has lots of name recognition in Ohio. And lots of unions that previously endorsed Sherrod Brown are now endorsing John Husted. Husted, I think, will do pretty good in the suburbs. He's just overall a strong candidate. I think Husted will win by around 3 to 4. It will be Attorney General Ken Paxton versus James Tallarico. Ken Paxton, as we all know, successfully primaried out John Cornyn in a huge runoff defeat for Cornyn. Ken Paxton is not a very strong candidate at all. He has some scandals, you could say. But he will be facing James Tallarico, who is a very overrated candidate. Tallarico has said many extreme things that are not going to play well in Texas. They're going to be using ads against him. Ads are already being run. Tallarico's very left-wing positions on many things. That's not going to age well in Texas. So I think Texas, as of now, is lean Republican. Another states where the candidates' comments and actions have kind of affected the outcome, I think Maine is going to be lean Republican. The Democrats' nominee Graham Plattner has said lots of controversial things in the past. He's had very recent scandals popping up as of the recording of this video. He's just not a very strong candidate at all. He has a lot of crazy comments that are going to hurt him for sure. He will be facing Susan Collins, who is an extremely strong candidate in Maine. Susan Collins was trailing pretty much all of the polls in 2020, losing the polls by a likely margin on Election Day 2020. Collins ended up winning by around 10. So Collins is a very strong candidate. Graham Plattner has said lots of controversial things and is a pretty far left candidate, so I don't think that's going to play too well in Maine. But as of now, I have Collins at lean Republican. So we have 4 final states left: Michigan, New Hampshire, North Carolina, and Georgia. We're going to start off with North Carolina. Now, this will be a flip for Democrats. Roy Cooper, the former governor, is going to face Michael Whatley, who is not really a strong candidate, doesn't have much name recognition, though Whatley has access to some decent fundraising for the Republicans. Cooper's name just might be too much to handle in North Carolina, even though Cooper has some legitimate criticisms that will be used against him. But we'll have to see how that plays out. And then we have New Hampshire. Democrats running Chris Pappas, who's a decently strong candidate, who is going to face a strong Republican candidate, former Senator John Sununu, who is the brother of former popular Governor Chris Sununu. The Sununu name carries a lot of weight in New Hampshire. Sununus usually do good in New Hampshire. They have a long history in New Hampshire, so I think it'll be lean Republican, possibly likely I think it'll be lean Democrats, possibly likely Democrats by the end of the day. Well, that's the rating now. It's definitely not out of reach for Republicans. In the final states, we have Georgia and Michigan. We'll start off with Georgia. I think this is another lean Democrat state. It's definitely in striking distance, just like all of these other competitive states are. But Ossoff has lots of fundraising, and Republicans aren't running that great of a candidate. Mike Collins, who looks to be the Republican frontrunner, but Ossoff is the incumbent. Georgia is trending pretty left-wing. Ossoff has a lot of fundraising. I think it'll stay lean Democrat. The final state, we have Michigan. Now, there's a very competitive and divisive Democrat primary. You have Mallory McMorrow, Haley Stevens, who is the Democrat insider's choice, and you have Abdul El Sayed, who is the progressive choice. He's endorsed by Bernie Sanders and pretty left-wing groups. The polls have been pretty competitive. Polling has been pretty close in the Democratic primary. El Sayed seems to be surging as of the recording of this video. In the Republican primary, it's essentially a clear field for Mike Rogers, the former representative who came really close in 2024, but was hurt by the Libertarian on the ballot and just not enough Trump voters voting in the Senate race. But Rogers is a strong candidate. This race really depends on who the Democrats nominate. If it's El Sayed, I think it's tilt Republican. If it's McMorrow or Stevens, it may be a toss-up to lean Democrats. But really, we'll have to see. I'm not sure if Chuck Schumer and the DSCC are going to allow El Sayed to become the nominee, because he's not a very good candidate at all. He's very extreme. But assuming someone like McMorrow was the nominee, McMorrow also has some baggage. She's not even from Michigan. She's from New Jersey. And she has also had some controversial comments kind of trashing Michigan and the Midwest. So the Democrats' candidates really aren't all that great. But since it is a pretty blue year, in an unfavorable environment, Democrats are definitely going to be favored. I'm not really sure I can make a call on this race. It may be lean Democrat, but as of now, I'll leave it as a toss-up, just because we're not sure how the primary is going to go, and we need more polling on this race. So thank you guys for watching. Comment down below what you think. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Like the video down below. Thank you guys for watching. This is Casey's Politics.